All right, let's get into fabrics. So I'll start with burlap. A lot of people don't like burlap because burlap can be hard to work with and it can produce a lower quality rug if you don't get the tight weave burlap. So you see that's what it says up here in my search. That's the one you really want if you're going to use it. So some of the benefits you're going to get with burlap is that it's inexpensive, so you can get a lot of it for a small amount of money. It's also eco-friendly. This is made from natural materials, so if you're big on the environment, this is a very good one. And it's easy to stretch, so this is not one that's going to get loose over time as you tuft. A lot of people don't like burlap because, again, for some people, it produces a lower quality rug. I find that only happens when you don't get the tight weave cloth. Also, because this is a natural fabric, it can get dry and brittle, so you do have to store it well. And if you live in an area that has very dry air, this may not be the best option. Next, we have the white tufting cloth. This one has a lot of benefits, and it also has some downsides. So with this one, it's a nice middle ground on price, where it's a little more expensive than burlap, but a lot less expensive than the gray cloth. This cloth is super beginner friendly. It's what a lot of people use, but you have to be careful on which one you buy. So if you look at the details, they all have this area that tells you what blend it is, and this is going to be very important for you. So this is what a lot of us aren't paying attention to, this area right here where it tells you how much cotton is in it. So with these, you really want to read the details. So this one is 25% cotton. That's one that I would buy if I was going to use the white cloth. The cotton blend is what determines how stretchy it's going to be. So a stretchy cloth is fine, but if you notice that your cloth gets very loose as you tuft and it can't take the weight, a lot of times that has to do with how much cotton is in it, because the cotton is what makes it so very stretchy. Then as we continue to tuft, we find that we're getting holes because now we're tufting on a loose cloth, which is how you get the holes. And the cotton also makes it more susceptible to holes in my experience, and it just doesn't work for me. And one of the last reasons you just want to pay attention to how much cotton is in it is because you'll get these little pieces that poke through the front of the rug, and when you finish, you realize you see all these little white pieces and you're like, why is my fabric on the other side? That will happen a lot less if there's more polyester, and you may also need to adjust your scissors. That's another conversation. And now we have the gray cloth. This is the most expensive kind of cloth you can buy. It will make all of your rugs more expensive, but it has the most benefits just for me personally. So because I get the one that's 100% polyester, it's so easy to stretch and it does not get loose over time. It's also so strong that it guides my gun straight up and down, which is how I get really nice straight lines. Now that only matters for me because I actually have very severe arthritis, so my arms are super weak. I used to have a very hard time stretching my fabric. That is the only reason I don't use the white cloth. So I'm not saying that this is the best possible cloth you can get, but I find that for me, it gives me the best quality outcome. When I say my gun slides on this like butter, I am not kidding. All of my lines are perfectly straight and they go exactly where I intend them to. And then they're perfectly even on the other side where I'm not finding sections that are a little longer, a little shorter in some areas. I'm also not picking loose pieces on the other side as much. I also find that because I personally do not waterfall my edges when I cut the fabric, I do get a lot less fraying on the other side. And just because it's cleaner when I tuft, it leaves less of a job for me to carve. So it really cuts down on that time for me. But that's just for how I tuft personally. With this cloth, you also want to be careful. It's not just gray cloth. I get 100% polyester cloth. You will find ones that have a mix. I don't want mixed cloth. I've never tried the hemp cloth. So you can use any of these cloths. There are more. These are just the 3 that I've personally tried, and those are the pros and cons that I found. I encourage you to get them all, try them yourself. It may not necessarily be your cloth. It just might be an adjustment that you need to make in the way that you tuft to work with that cloth. Sorry, I know that was long, but does that make sense? If it doesn't, just go ahead and drop it in the comments and I'll try to explain a little better.